got it all, I've got the answers right. I've got money in the bank, but couldn't write a check to save my life. And it's a dangerous place that I'm in.
What is going on, Friends Church? Todd Frazier here. And we wanted to come live this morning because there's something that is new and exciting, and we wanted to talk to you guys about it. And we actually wanted to talk with somebody that is intricate in creating the new song that just released today from Friends Worship called More. Kyle, hey, how you doing? Everybody that's here, so glad that you're here. Matt Roden is going to be joining me, and I can't wait for him to get here because I'm excited to hear about everything that he did to get ready for that.
What's up, bro?
Mr. Roden, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, dude. How are you?
Oh, dude, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah?
I've listened to the song, I think, 3 times so far this morning.
No, that's great.
So, yes, super exciting. How are you doing?
Dude, I'm pretty great. 32 today, and feeling young, man. I told my wife this morning, sitting out on the back porch, I was like, man, I don't feel 32. And I don't know what 32 is supposed to feel like, but if it feels like this, it feels pretty good. So.
Yeah, so
Anyway.
this is kind of like a pretty big birthday present to for you to give to everyone else out there, right? Like it's the reverse.
Dude, yeah. Honestly, I didn't even think about it like that. Jay Hewitt posted about it, and Jay's got great humor, but he was like, "It's Matt's birthday," and he gave a gift to us. I thought it was funny. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I would definitely say it's not just a gift from me. There's a lot of people that put a lot of time and work into that, and Mike Mott is one. So I don't know if any of you guys on here write your own music or do anything. Mike is an incredible producer, and of course Emily Hamilton from For All Seasons, she sang on it. She's got an incredible voice, great worship leader. So Josh Catalin dropped some notes on there too.
Oh, yeah.
Some guitar. So Josh Catalin's incredible too. So I'm excited and just glad to keep being able to work with those guys. So
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got some questions for you if you want to talk about it real quick. So how long did it take you to write this, first of all?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. So the process happened, we're talking about Easter and Matthew Cork being the great leader that he is, and listening to the Spirit of God says, we're going to do a series called Is There More to Life Than This? And I was like, well, that's a great question to ask, right?
Yeah.
But little did we know that question is probably the most predominant question on a lot of people's mind right now.
Oh, yeah.
With this whole quarantine thing going on. And so that just is a testament to even Matthew Cork's leadership and just listening to what God has to say. But it originally started as a class project. I was
wow.
You know what I mean? I was just like, well, dude, let's try something different. Let's do like a Macklemore style song, right? So when we first met, literally that hook came to me immediately, dude. Like it was the strangest thing. I came home and I was like, man, what kind? Like I listened to one song by Macklemore. It was that Same Love song or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want that vibe. And I'm not just saying this, but I literally probably wrote that hook in a matter of 15, 20 minutes. And like, it just came to me,
Wow.
And so now writing the rap, that was a lot more of a lengthy process.
Had you ever written any rap before?
Yeah, believe it or not, dude, I used to rap a ton when I was a young kid. I actually sang hooks in a rap group, and I would rap also. And so,
wow.
Yeah, our group name was called Drastic, and it was Died, Rose Again, Saved Today in Christ was the acronym for it. Jamie Nixon was the leader of that band, but I mostly sang, but I did rap a lot, and I did write a lot of rap. But so I mean, to really answer your question, it probably took me a solid 3 to 4 weeks to wrap it up, because initially when I wrote the hook, I said, Mike, is there anything with this? And he's like, dude, that's great. And I was like, well, maybe we should get someone who's actually a rapper. Like, this is what they do with their life, right?
Right.
And Mike was like, yeah, I'm totally down for that. And so I wrote the first verse with the intentions of giving the style and the vibe that I wanted. But as I started writing the first 2 lines of that first verse, I went, I've got something to say about this, because I just came out of a season of depression and anger. And so so yeah, but like the whole process of that, it was interesting, but it probably took 3 or 4 weeks, something
Yeah.
like that. So
So the feeling of this being more personal for you, I think that's a big part of why I think the song comes across so well as it does. If this is really coming from a place where you're like, this was on my heart. Like, is there more to this?
yeah,
Right? And
yeah.
and then being able to communicate that in a way that impacts other people. Like that's so exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like if there's any worship pastors that see this or anybody that's on here that's in ministry and stuff, I think I think right now we as leaders of the church are trying to figure out, was there more to life than my identity in leading worship and like
Yeah.
being in front of people on a stage, it's like that's the question. Like before this even happened, I was asking other questions, like my soul was so dry, dude. Like the lyrics that you hear, I've heard it said that there is more than one season of life, but how come every morning I wake up it feels dry? Like that was me. Like
Wow.
every morning I woke up, probably for a solid 1.5 to 2 years, I was angry and depressed because of the season of life I was in. And like what it felt like when I say it feels like my soul's trying to make ends meet, like, is there really a God above, or is he left me in the street? Like that is really how I felt in that season, because like I didn't feel like anything I was doing was getting fruit. Like I literally felt like I was taking out the garbage. Like I was just like, all right, like
Yeah.
everything I did, I just felt like, why am I even doing this? Like, is this really what you're calling me to? Am I really supposed to be a worship leader? Like, was having a kid a mistake? Like, this is miserable. Like, I was angry. Like, I was like, what,
Yeah.
And so,
Well, I
and
think that's not something that's new, especially for people that are in leadership like yourself in worship specifically, because there's so much you have to balance there.
absolutely.
That's something that's, I think, important to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I mean, so honestly, the whole first verse is pretty much my story. Like I just coming out of that season. So like I realized, oh, wait, maybe I do have something to say about this, because I just lived it for a 1.5 years, And
Yeah.
so it was interesting, but the battle of like whether or not to say really what I wanted to say, and then to actually rap it was another thing, because
Yeah.
like, I mean, let's be real, I'm a worship leader, it's like that's what I do, it's like,
Right.
I kind of figured it would be a shock for people to go, why is he rapping? Which is kind of the good thing about it. It's like, you would assume you would just see a regular hip hop guy going for it, whoever that might be, Macklemore, 50 Cent, whoever it is that like dedicates their life to it. So I kind of, at the end of it, when Mike finally talked me into doing it, he was like, I think that's you need to do this. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, whatever.
What was there more of a hesitation for you to do it as a rap or to actually put these lyrics out? Which was more difficult for you to get?
I think both, man, because if you listen to the second verse, the funny thing is I was trying to write the second verse in perspective of someone who might be in my place. So I was trying to write the second verse from their perspective.
Yeah.
But the more I started writing the second verse, I was like, that's me too. I was like, I got money in the bank, but I couldn't write a check to save my life. I was like, I might not be rich, but like by all standards of the rest of the world, I've got everything I need, but like, and I think that's a testament to America. I mean, we have so much. Whether we have 1 billion or we got 15,000 in our savings and we're hoping to get a house in the next 3 years, it's like,
Right.
That's a lot of money by the world standards. And it's like, I've got everything I need. But the reality is I still felt empty. Like even as a leader in a church, as a worship pastor, I was just like, I'm like, why do I feel this way, man? Feeling lonely and isolated, so it was interesting.
And there's a lot of pressure in that position that says, well, I can't ask these hard questions because I'm leading people. And I think that's a trap for leadership in any capacity, whether it's in worship or in leaderships of an entire church. That's a big question. And I think the fact that you're willing to be honest and be authentic and share that's huge. I mean, I didn't know the backstory of this, and that makes this song even more powerful to me. So I'm just blessed that you shared that.
Yeah.
Like, that's really, really cool. So do you feel like you've come out of that season? And I also want to say, like, I've had those thoughts and they come and go. Like, I don't think that ever truly goes away because we're constantly getting refined as we go through all this.
Yeah.
But do you feel like you've kind of come out of that season and this is a release from that?
Yeah, what's funny, Todd, is I feel like I was actually released of it back in. Sorry, we have somebody cutting the grass out here.
I can't hear them, so we're good.
You can't hear it? Okay.
No.
I'm having a hard time hearing you. That's why. So believe it or not, back in August, I had this crazy breakdown, and like with this weird experience with God and this song that I probably hadn't sang in probably 10 to 12 years, The Heart of Worship by Matt Roden. And I just like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like one of those things, like it's an experience for yourself. And sometimes you can't really explain the moment, what happened. But I just remember that moment, I just broke down and started weeping. And I asked God to forgive me. Just what I've made of worship. And like, because the season I was in, it wasn't allowing me to lead the way that I wanted to and to not go to the place that I wanted to go with the people in the room, and I think I just forgotten what the moment's supposed to be about. And I think like, and it, if this is any help to any worship leaders out there, but what my generation and what I feel like, I had become a lover of the moment and not the creator of the moments. And so there was even like battles with that. Like I was feeling like I wasn't a good worship leader because I was angry at home and I was depressed and I felt lonely. And then when I would come to church and I'd lead, I'd feel shameful that like, I said those things to my wife, or I did this, or I did that, and I finally just got to the place where I repented, dude. Honestly, is what I did. I said, God, I'm sorry for what I've made of this. And like, I felt like in that moment, there was something God pulled me out of, and it just shifted the atmosphere in my life. And I think like, I don't know, man. I think when God sees a humble, contrite heart, there's a lot of things that can be changed, like literally changed. And sometimes it's just perspective. Maybe it's not literally the circumstances, but it's like, I think God wants to change our perspective in the midst of our circumstances so that we can make the most of what's going on. And like, sometimes he changes the circumstances. I mean, dude, I'm still living in the same circumstance, but my perspective has changed.
Yeah.
But the reality is if I hadn't have gone through that, I don't know if I would have had what I needed to say and felt comfortable with saying it, instead of like, if I wouldn't have had hindsight of what like I went through. So like, to be able to actually say what I felt in that season, there was another release that happened. Because now my hopes is like, if somebody hears the song and it's like they feel like he said it in a song where everyone could hear it, I can tell someone next to me that, dude, this is a thought that I'm having. I'm literally feeling like God has left me in the street, like, and I believe in him. It's like, this is what the church has lost: vulnerability with him, and awareness of ourselves, and not just awareness with ourselves, with others. And like, I'm not afraid to tell people where I'm at anymore. It's like, I mean, obviously there's some things you don't just share with everybody. Well, but yeah, I mean, I think I'm out of that season. And right now it's the battleground to continue that purified mind. Like the enemy is like, that's where the battle's at. Right. But like, it's like, once it happens, then you got to go to war to maintain that purity of mind, and it's like, that's the hardest part. So, So anyway.
Absolutely. And I think that is so huge that the conversation needs to be had, because like Nydia, I hope I'm saying your name right, mentions that here, that it was so refreshing to have someone be honest and to be vulnerable and raw and share that that's what they're struggling with. Because we have, when we're in positions of leadership, we have this pride feeling that we get. And it's like, well, I can't share this because I'm supposed to be perfect. Right? We get that feeling. And so for those of us that are able to be willing to share that, that is going to help so many more people that are saying, oh, I didn't know that I wasn't the only one. Because you feel isolated, right? You feel like you're the only one that's going through that season. And I think that's something that's happening across the board with everything being shut down and being all the things that we're having, quote unquote, taken away from us as a church. Right. Like, we're stripping down our focus to what the purpose actually is. And I think that this is going to be a refreshing time. And I think that this is something that's going to build on your message. And I think that the opportunity to share this new song with the world and really be an encouragement to those that are going through things that are similar or exactly like what you went through.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's great. And I love that the song ends with the hope of the gospel. It's like, the reality is Jesus never, and listen, this has been said 1,000 times. I'm just reiterating what people said. I'm not trying to say anything profound. Maybe it's just the way that I say it. Maybe you can just hear me if you're on here. He never promised life to be easy, but he promised to walk with us in the valleys and set us on the mountaintops so we can look back down at what he's taken us through. And not every season is that experience, but I like, the antidote to the wrestling that is inside of us, the questions, is the person of Jesus and what he's done for us. Because Jesus went through the most depressing, anxious moments that any human being could ever have went through, not having a place to rest his head. I mean, Isaiah talks about him not being glorious at all, and that there was nothing beautiful about him that we should look upon him. Like, this guy was very familiar with pain. And not only that, he was so anxious to the point that he sweated blood before he was about to give his life.
Yeah.
Yet at the end of the Lord's Supper, he saw fit to sing a worship song, a hymn with his believers, a Hallel psalm of thanksgiving because what God was about to do, the pain that he was about to endure. And I think that's the perspective that I want to continue to have. Is not necessarily always praying, God, bring me pain because it makes me grateful, but how do I maintain gratitude and thankfulness in a painful season? And sometimes you just got to walk through it with them, fight it out, say some words you shouldn't sometimes. I mean, let's be honest, we need those friends that we can say some things that we need to say sometimes. Yep. And it's just like, it's a beautiful thing that he is the hope that we have, that we can literally hold his hand, confide in him, because he's already went through all that, so.
Yep, absolutely. And I think that is what this does, is helps give perspective, right? Yeah. All of it, it's all mental. I shouldn't say it's all mental. There is some that's circumstances that you can't deal with, but changing your perspective.
Absolutely.
And I'm so excited. Somebody says they got it on repeat. Chris, yes, on repeat all morning. It's so good. And even knowing the backstory now, I think, I liked it before. I really like it now. Like, I really, really like it now, dude. And I think that the more that we do and we put out this worship music that is coming from a place of authenticity, which I think is missing in a lot of the things that we as Christians have done, because we get that veil, right? And this has taken the veil down. And I really appreciate you, especially coming on right now and giving this insight to people and sharing with others. And I think that if there's anything to leave people with, is that you're not alone in this season or in any season. Yeah.
No, and even like what you just said, mental health, it is an issue in America. And, we could go down a rabbit trail of why, but let's not go there. Let's just say this, my wife, she has anxiety, literal, chronic anxiety issues, and she has to take medicine. Even Chris talks about this from the stage. It's look, thank God for modern medicine. This is thing, but that's my point. It's some of these things aren't gonna go away. You know what I mean? And it's like we've got to figure out how to wrestle with it. Because I know another season of depression is coming. Even in this quarantine, I can feel myself sinking to am we gonna go there again? Am I gonna start getting angry again? Am I gonna start getting depressed again? It's it's reality. There's just some things that are not going to go away, but that's the beauty of Christ, is he walks with us in that, It's
so. Absolutely. And he's going to use it to better us and better others. And that's why
he's used my wife 1,000 times, dude, to be able to confide with people herself with what she's dealing with, It's
Well, and it deepens that connection. It's I've been there. I'm not preaching to you or at you. I'm in this with you.
Thank you.
Right. I love this, man, dude. I'm pumped. I want to go listen to it again now. I'm ready.
I think it's great. Yeah, I think the second verse, I was a little scared that it might be offensive to some people. Like, I'm the one that's got it all. I've got the answers right. I've got money in the bank, but couldn't write. But I think that's all of us, right? It's like,
oh, that's so true.
We think we've got the answer. We've got money. We're living. I mean, I just went on vacation to Hawaii a couple years ago. You know, it's like we do nice things, like, but like that's still in the end, like, it's very small on the scale of like what true joy means in life. You know, it's like.
Yep, absolutely. So. Katie asked, "What's the name of the song?" The name of the song is "More."
Yep.
And it's available on iTunes and on Spotify and all the places that you listen to music. But share it.
Yeah,
talk about it.
Share it. Yeah. Brandon Gillette's like, more of what?
Just more of everything. There's got to be more. So he wants more of everything, right?
Yeah. So I think our churches, we're embarking on a beautiful journey of what it looks like to create vulnerable music, and like, you know, we're hoping to continue to create even just more worship songs, maybe that don't even have rap. I don't know. Maybe we learned something from this song. Maybe we need to throw some type of spoken word raps into our worship songs to, like, because there's just a different heart behind it when you say it versus when you sing it, you know? So
and the emphasis that comes with that. And then even if you just took a message from Matthew or Chris or anybody and you put music behind it, there's just something that emotes from the inside that you can't explain. And being musicians, we understand that.
Right.
And I think there's just something you can't put words to it. So I love this, man. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, dude. So anyway, people can share it, and you know, there's a video out. You can share the video. We're just trying to make music that's real, man. That's it.
And follow the friends.worship page, because that's where we're going to be putting out a lot of this music.
Dude, follow all the worship teams that we have under that. We've got City and Soul. We've got Jesus Use Me. All of us. Dude, we're about to
For All Seasons.
Yeah, For All Seasons is another band that's been helping us and hanging with us. Follow
Adam
all
Carpenter. Yeah, there's so many.
Pioneer Worship. Adam Carpenter. I'm telling you, we're about to flood people's feeds with music, bro, this year. So
I love it. And this is the time to do it, man.
Yeah.
We need to take advantage of the opportunity.
Absolutely.
So, well, happy birthday, Matt.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And you guys, if you didn't hear already, the song More, it's available on iTunes, it's on Spotify, wherever you listen to music. Make sure you check it out, share it, follow Friends Worship, because there is a lot of stuff coming down the pike. And pay attention here on the Friends page, because we're sharing all of it, because we want to help impact as many people as possible for Jesus in any season, no matter where you're at.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for being here, Matt.
Dude, thanks for doing this. This is great. I love you, bro.
I love you too, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Peace out.
Bye, everybody.
Really have a purpose, or is it all a mistake? So I'm left to praying with an open mind, thinking there's got to be more, but it's all in time.
There's gotta be more. There's gotta be more than this. I can't lose hope. Somebody shed light on me, 'cause all of these questions I can't answer still. I know this for sure. There's gotta be more to life than this.
I'm the one that's got it all. I've got the answers right. I've got money in the bank, but couldn't write a check to save my life. And it's a dangerous place that I'm in, 'cause it's been taking me to places I ain't never been. With loneliness inside of me, depression and anxiety, reminding me that I can't trust this world that has lied to me. And if it's true that I've been played by the world, can I really trust the creator of every boy and every girl? He's either a lunatic or a sad man, a madman or a bad man. 'Cause I can't ever understand why you give your life for all man. And is this gift of love just something to borrow? Or is it something that has substance that can drown out my sorrow? 'Cause I'm exhausted of the mind games. I make another move and life is calling checkmate. I'm getting sick of all the heartache and the blind dates. With these questions I can't answer, hoping someday
There's gotta be more. There's gotta be more than this. I can't lose hope. Somebody shed light on me, 'cause all of these questions I can't answer still. I know this for sure. There's gotta be more to life.
out of the headspace you find yourself in. There's a God who is and was and has always been. He's the antidote to the wrestling inside. Jesus came to die and raise in 3 so we could have life. He took the weight of the world so we confide in him. He promised to walk with us in valleys when the future's dim. It's his resurrection that can redirect us, giving us hope in the worst of circumstances. And not that we would come to him just to fix us up, but he loves his children so when he never gives up. So when you think that you have finally reached the end of your rope, listen closely to me, friend, there's some things you should know. He's the father to the fatherless, hope to the hopeless, the joy to the joyless, the sight to the sightless, the peace to the peaceless, the might to the mightless, the light in the darkness. Hear me saying, friend, that Jesus is enough. Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. You can have all this world. Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. You can have all this world. You can have all this world. You can have all this world.